Hey, good morning, folks. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Consumers Energy. A lot to talk about in weather, not anything really big in the short term on a couple of snows. The big thing to talk about is more than likely a pretty big warm-up in the period after Christmas to about the New Year. So we'll look at that. But first, a couple little snows to get through. And first, a reality check. How about that? I'd like to do this often. So the reality check is, let's look at the average high temperature for today. So what does an average high temperature mean? It means that we look at 30 years, 1991 to 2020, take the high temperature each of those December 17th for 30 years and average those. And what it's averaged is 36, 37-ish, Ann Arbor, Detroit, 35, Grand Rapids and Flint, 34, Saginaw Bay City, Midland, Traverse City, downtown is averaged about 30, looks like 33 degrees. UP averages about in the upper 20s, and if we scan along, and go out to the end of the month, we drop a few more degrees, meaning we're continuing to lose the heating power from the sunshine. And we know that, of course, as we're heading into the deeper part of winter when we get into January and early February. But by the end of the month, average high temperature 34 in Ann Arbor, 33 Flint, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, 33 Grand Rapids, 31 Traverse City, and in the mid-20s in the UP. All right, that's a reality check, we'll call it. So now, what do we have for precipitation on the way? Well, let's look at the computer models. These are not reality. These are what I like to call weather fantasy, because remember, the modeling is where we take equations and try to simulate the atmosphere. One thing we've come into is that these simulations or models look so accurate that some people mistake this for actual radar. It's not. It's what the models think will happen. And note, weather is dynamic. That means it changes. It's not a simple job as, hey, here's some snow in Iowa, and it's moved to here in Wisconsin in 6 hours, and it'll be here. It changes. It dissipates. It increases. It increases in coverage. It increases in intensity. And fortunately, we're in the day and age where the modeling handles that. So today, and we have to start to talk toward travel, winter travel. That's where a lot of your interest, I see the interest ramps up, because when you have to drive somewhere, you're wondering, am I driving on dry roads or really slick stuff? Hey, good morning, Rick Martin from Quantico. Matt Kemper. Yes, it does appear quite mild and warm for the holiday season in southeast lower Michigan. Yes, definitely. Okay, so we go through the night tonight, and precipitation will start to develop. This is 7 tomorrow morning. I'm actually going to show you a couple of models, because remember, we have a lot of models. Some have strengths in one thing, others have strength in another thing. So here we go. Let's go to noon tomorrow. A steady light snow from Port Huron to Oakland County to the Detroit and Ann Arbor areas down toward Toledo, maybe Jackson, and then some snow showers across northern Michigan. By mid-afternoon, that snow has moved out. So, it's let's call it a 6 in the morning to noon type thing. Light, steady, widespread light snow, not spotty. So if you have a half-inch or inch in Oakland County, you'll probably have the same in Detroit, Ann Arbor. Then we go into Wednesday night. Then we go into Thursday. And Thursday's storm is a little bit different. It's a little bit more robust. It's what we call an Alberta Clipper. Hey, good morning, Charity Wright. Thank you. Glad I'm back. Chad Peterson, good morning. Thanks for watching the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Consumers Energy. And Diana Swain, good morning to you. Patrick Napolitano, good morning. Okay, so here is the forecast for midday Thursday. Another snow, what we call an Alberta Clipper, will be heading this way. So Thursday afternoon, Thursday overnight, and Friday will be somewhat more snowy, not what I would call a heavy snowstorm. Let's jump back. This is the high resolution rapid refresh. It gives us a good feel for the next 24 hours. And it does the same thing. Noon tomorrow, it shows the light snow across southeast lower Michigan, and then it shows the spotty snow showers, and it shows the first signs of that Alberta Clipper. So, total snowfall out of tomorrow's, let's call it an inch or two in the far southeast. Let's call it an inch in Ann Arbor and the Detroit area. Let's call it less than an inch, Flint, Lansing, Jackson, just enough to get slick. Then let's say there's nothing, Saginaw to Grand Rapids and the Thumb, and then there's some light snow up to the north as well. See what this is starting to do for the Alberta Clipper? It shows that swath of 2 to 4 inches coming across Minnesota and Wisconsin, and that's what I would expect in our region. So now we go to the European model, which picks up farther out into the future. Hey, good morning to South Haven and Sherry Feld Olson. So we go with the European model, and here is our Thursday night Alberta Clipper light snow. The storm center down around Kankakee, Illinois. So we are on the north side of the storm system. It's not robust, but it's a solid light snow for all of lower Michigan. This is Friday morning. This is Friday morning into early afternoon, which is a little interesting. Because of a northeast wind, there could be some enhancement, and the model even tries to show this, along the northeast shoreline, the sunrise shoreline, the unsung, found golden gem of Michigan, right? You don't want anybody to talk about it. Alpena to Oscoda to Tawas. Looks like you're living on the ocean there. That northeast wind can enhance the snow just a touch. And this is Friday afternoon and evening. That enhancement can come into Saginaw, Tuscola County, even to Flint and the Thumb. Just a touch, again. And then as we go into the weekend, we transition to spotty lake effect snow. This is our hope for a white Christmas right here. This is on Christmas Eve day. You know, snow on the verge of rain. Hey, good morning, meteorologist John Gross. Hopefully you're doing well. I don't think we've ever met, but hey, let's have a beer sometime. So this is Christmas Day, looks pretty quiet, and then you're going to notice, and I'm going to show you this more in just a moment here, you're going to notice more southerly winds. You're going to notice as we get out into the end of December that the precipitation is more green than blue. That means we're going to be on the mild side and have more shot at rain showers than we will at snow as we head out into the end of the year. And I want to show you this. Okay, so now remember, there's another very important concept. You know I don't sugarcoat it for you here on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I get right into it. And remember, we look at a deterministic mode of the European model. Very good in the short term. We like it for 2, 3, 4, 5 days out, maybe 6 days. Then we go to the ensemble. That's where they tweak the model 51 times and they average it together. And if you see something happening 10, 15 days out, very demonstrative, very robust trend, if 51 tweaks are average and it shows that, it's probably going to happen. So now that's what we're going to be looking at is the 51 tweaks. or what we call the ensemble, and we're going to be looking at the high temperatures. I don't like to use the deterministic mode on this because it could be way off out into the future. But what I want to show you is, let's look at Christmas Eve day. High temperatures in the mid-30s. So if we have some snow on the ground, it's probably not robust enough warm-up that hey, I got a beer meetup with meteorologist John Gross. Let's get all of the area meteorologists together for a beer, and we could just talk weather speak. How does that sound? So it's not as robust enough warm up to take away, the couple of inches we may get. Now this is Christmas Day, 36, 39, pretty mild, and then note the warming trend. The 26 day after. Remember, this is a tweak of 51 averages. Friday after Christmas, maybe in the 40s to 50. Saturday, December 28th. Sunday, December 29th, still 40-ish. And then New Year's Eve, starting to cool down, and there's New Year's Eve. So the classic more of the same pattern is going on in the fact that the winter pattern appears to be establishing itself. And I read a discussion from a guy he's a researcher of the polar vortex and some other oscillations that we look at, and he's noting this too, that there's a surge of cold air into the eastern U.S., and it lasts like 5 to 7 days, gets kicked out by a surge of warmth that lasts 5 to 7 days, and then back to cold. And it almost looks like that pattern will continue as we get the warm surge, let's call it Christmas Day, to maybe New Year's Eve. We don't know exactly how far out when we get to the end of that, and then we get back to a cold surge. So it'll make for an interesting winter because you can have storminess and that kind of thing, and you can get a let up where the ice melts off the roads. It can make for a very nice middle of the road winter, which is possibly what we have on the way. Look at this 8 to 14 day forecast. What color is that? Burgundy? So that means we are going to end the year on the warm side, it looks like. So there you have it. Do you get this kind of weather update anywhere else? I don't think so. So we're looking at a couple of snows, a light one tomorrow, an inch or less, let's call it, in the far southeast. Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, Friday, a little more robust. Slick roads, I would call it a general 2 to 4 inch snow across all of lower Michigan. And then cold for the weekend, and as we head toward Christmas, we'll start to warm up. No big signs of any major travel problem as we head toward Christmas. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Consumers Energy. And we will keep you updated as always on MLive. So take care. I'm meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.